So I was on my way to work today and I saw my Twitter app blowing up on my phone. So I opened it up and I saw that everyone was mentioning me on a tweet from John Carpenter himself. I thought it would be like a new Halloween comic or an action figure or something since San Diego Comic-Con is going on, but I scrolled up and saw that we are in fact getting two new Halloween movies spaced out 1 year apart called Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Halloween Kills is coming out on October 16th, 2020, and Halloween Ends is coming out on October 15th, 2021. The video that was posted on the Halloween Movies official Instagram account and John Carpenter's Twitter and pretty much everywhere on the internet doesn't have any new footage, but what I'm thinking is that as soon as the ink was dry on the agreement between David Gordon Green, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, everyone involved, they got this video together so they could put it up because there's been so much rumors and speculation flying around that they just wanted to get the news out there for themselves and make it official. Honestly, I've had a feeling for a couple of days now that something good is going on with the Halloween franchise because I saw that Jason Blum said on Twitter the other day he was on a secret mission to South Carolina, and then he said mission accomplished a few hours later. So why would he be going to South Carolina other than to beg, to plead with David Gordon Green to come back and direct two Halloween movies in a row? And I'm glad he did because I just really hope, while we don't have confirmation that he is coming back, because to have one director between three Halloween movies is just going to be awesome. Especially one that did such a great job bringing the franchise back to its roots and in a good way after 40 years of just kind of okay, I guess kind of good to okay movies. There were some pretty bad ones, but for the most part, the franchise never really reached the potential of the original two movies. This is obviously an evolution of that rumor we've been hearing for about a month now that they were going to do two movies but space them out a month apart. Honestly, I never really liked that idea and I never really believed it. You guys probably saw how skeptical I was in the video where that was announced. I think this is so much better to space them out a year apart because it gives them a chance to not only have a press cycle individually for each movie to get people hyped, but it also gives them a chance to go back and reshoot things for the third movie based on how things go in the second movie, good or bad. Like something could work really well in Halloween Kills and they could change up what they already shot for Halloween Ends based on that, or something could go really bad in Halloween Kills and vice versa, but I don't want to think about that because I'm just going to assume they're going to get it right, you know? I also think the idea to take the Halloween name and put a subtitle after it is much smarter than calling it Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 because they have to think about how the internet reacts to that stuff now. If they called this new movie Halloween 2 and the next one Halloween 3, the conversation would basically devolve into a bunch of memes about how it's technically Halloween 3 and Halloween 4. Now they can kind of command the press cycle and say, hey, this is Halloween Kills. Michael Myers is more brutal than he's ever been before. He's probably going to come back to Haddonfield and really wreak some havoc, and then Halloween Ends is either going to be Laurie Strode or Andy Matichak's character Allison coming back to finally end Michael. The funny thing is, the most major sticking point in the video I just did about how Michael could have survived Halloween 2018 was that I said there's an urban legend out there that Michael can't legally die on screen. A lot of you were asking where that rumor came from. I honestly don't know. I've heard it my entire life. I've seen it written down in magazines. I've seen it on websites. No one can ever really say where that rumor came from, but obviously now we're going to see Michael finally die and have an end to his story on screen. I don't know what they do after that movie, if they just do another reboot, because you know, the boogeyman will never die. As long as Michael Myers is making money, we're going to be seeing movies, but I'm glad we're going to have one definitive timeline, hopefully, going forward. One thing I'm really curious about is how they're going to promote both of these movies going forward. I mean, now that they're announced, are they just going to focus on Halloween Kills for the next year and a half and then move on immediately to Halloween Ends, or are they going to promote both of these movies together? Like, is the first trailer we get for this for an entire saga rather than just one movie? It is still an unprecedented move to announce two movies like this back to back with titles that kind of reveal what's gonna happen in them. I like that Blumhouse is trying new things with this franchise, but keeping it back to its roots, you know, like they did with last year's movie. I also think it was a really important and smart move for them to have John Carpenter announce this, because throughout the history of the Halloween franchise, he's been pretty disconnected from it. He obviously executive produces, or at least produces, pretty much every movie in the franchise because that's easy money, but he's not necessarily involved on set or in the writer's room or anything like that. Having him announce the movie not only shows his support for it, but it shows that he considers this kind of the definitive Halloween timeline, and I really appreciate that. There's no word on whether or not he's going to come back and do the score, of course, because there's really no info on these movies other than the titles, but I would assume that he will be coming back because he's this involved with it from the very beginning, and I don't think they would do these movies as sequels to Halloween 2018 unless they had him coming back to do the score. He's also said in multiple interviews that he would if they asked them, and again, why wouldn't they ask him? Another thing the short video tells us by saying the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode isn't over yet is that Jamie Lee Curtis is officially coming back to play Laurie Strode once again. I know that we had the rumor that she was signed on for the sequel to whatever Halloween 2018 was going to be, but until something's official in Hollywood, it's not official. It was only a few months ago that we thought this random guy that we had never heard of named Scott Teems was writing his treatment for a script, and we also thought David Gordon Green wasn't coming back, so things changed pretty quick. Now we have some official news. Obviously, the next thing I want is just that announcement of David Gordon Green. I'm going to say his name so many times in this. I feel like that's the linchpin in this entire Halloween pyramid. They need to get David Gordon Green on board for 2 movies. Have one guy between 3 Halloween movies directing them all from start to finish. That's just something I've always wanted, and just carrying this forward as a slasher trilogy from him that uses the original movie as a prequel, it's just perfect. It's exactly what I want from the Halloween franchise. It's what I've wanted for my entire life. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today on Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. It's so awesome to have titles to say now instead of Halloween 2 or 3 or 3 and 4. I'm just excited that this press run is going to start, and we're going to have some awesome Halloween news to talk about pretty much until 2021, which is not something I ever thought I would say. Let me know what you think of this down in the comments below. Remember, when you subscribe, to hit the notification bell. I would really appreciate it. Anyway guys, my name is Jimmy Champane. I'm going to get back to work. See you in the next one.